What is up, Gadsden Brigade? Payton Johnson here with another daily installment of Enlightenment. Before we get into today's segment, if you could please smash that like button, comment down below, share this video, and subscribe to this channel. So guys, I covered this topic yesterday, but I must admit I did not do my due diligence very well, and after a long conversation with my buddy Ryan, shout out homie, and doing a lot more research on this topic, I must say my opinion now is very different than my reactionary take from yesterday. So I thought I owed it to you guys to give a better deep dive today and give a better explanation on the whole situation as a whole. So with that said, Brandi Love was kicked out of Turning Point USA. Now, for those of you in the audience who know who she is, you guys are dirty, dirty dogs. But for those of you who don't know who she is, or the guys watching this video with their girlfriends pretending that they don't know who she is, well, Brandi Love is an adult film actress who is a self-claimed conservative, and Turning Point USA had a bone to pick with her when they came to the realization that she was a porn star. Like the innuendos? Good, because I could go all night long. Oh, he does it again. So she claimed that she got kicked out because of cancel culture. I claim she got kicked out because she's a porn star at a student summit full of minors. But potato. I'll let you be the judge. So I got an article here from the Daily Caller that reads, egregious. Legendary porn star reacts to being thrown out of a Turning Point USA event. And there's Brandi Love, and I must say that is a very conservative outfit for what, you know, if you ever go on her Twitter, you'll know what I mean, which all I'm going to say is proceed with caution. And there's Charlie Kirk for people who are attracted to Charlie Kirk. And, you know, maybe. Anyways, so it says, Brandi Love believes being thrown out of the Student Action Summit is a brutal example of cancel culture. Once again, not really. It says, the legendary adult film star shared multiple videos on her Twitter account showing her excitement to be attending the Turning Point USA event, which is popular with conservatives of all ages. Love purchased VIP tickets, set at a price for more than $500. Dang, she shelled out some coin. Now, I want to say, because other outlets were reporting that Turning Point USA invited her, then kicked her out. That's not true. She purchased VIP tickets. She was a member of the audience. She was not invited by anybody. So we're going to read on right here. There's some pictures of her. There's the bus, VIP check-in. Once again, dressed pretty conservatively. And, you know, it'd be one thing. I told my friend Ryan, if she went totally incognito, didn't present herself, because she bought the tickets under her actual name, but where everything falls apart is on her VIP tickets. You can literally see right on the badge. If I can't, you can't really see, but it says Brandi Love. So she was definitely promoting herself by her stage name, and that's where, you know, read the room. It totally falls apart there. It says that Love, an outspoken conservative, which we'll go into that later, says was ejected from the event Saturday and posted a screenshot of a message notifying her that her pass had been revoked. Here's the tweet. It says, can't make this S up, LOL. I just watched Charlie Kirk, Dan Bongino, Rick Scott, and Kat Timpf speak on freedom, censorship, and how inclusive the movement is, etc. And then they had me thrown out of Turning Point USA conference. The Republican Party is broken. Now, I will agree the Republican Party is broken, but it's not because they don't accept you as a conservative. And I don't even mean Republicans. I mean conservatives within the Republican Party. And I'm going to explain later why conservatism, and I blame a lot of this on boomers in the media, conservatism always seems to be like a common blanket label for anybody on the right wing or the Republican Party, when it really shouldn't be. Conservatism is its own political ideology, and I'll get into that in a little bit, but let's read on. Right here in the tweet, it says that she got kicked out, but they did refund her, so Charlie Kirk did not make off with that $1,000 of her hard-earned money. But it says, according to Salon, the Turning Point USA spokesperson declined to comment on the situation to the publication. Love, however, had plenty to say to me. Says, I reached out to Brandi Love for her thoughts Sunday afternoon and asked her if she thought getting tossed out after purchasing a ticket amounted to cancel culture. She told me the following. Is this an example of cancel culture? It is one of the more egregious examples of it. Turning Point USA literally opened the show talking about how we need to fight back against big tech censorship, cancel culture, the deterioration of our First Amendment, etc. Charlie Kirk literally talked about making sacrifices as outspoken conservatives, something I've been at years great risk at and great loss. And what she means by that is she is in the entertainment industry, even though it's the adult film industry, whether it's adult film industry, Hollywood, any kind of entertainment industry, being openly like pro-American or patriotic or any kind of conservative values is not what anybody would call in today's political landscape a safe move to make. So, I mean, shout out to her for being true to her patriotism and being pro-America. I respect that. I'm pro-American myself, obviously, and I consider myself a patriot. I'm a libertarian, but I'm going to explain why that doesn't mean you're a conservative. And that's going to be a big point that I discuss later in this topic. It says, as a follow-up question, I asked Love if she thought the conservative movement could grow if people were restricted and banished depending on their professions, and she told me the following. How can conservatives expect to grow as a movement when they don't seem to respect professions? I listened to Rush Limbaugh since 1995. I miss hearing him every day. I didn't always agree with him. Near the end, he often spoke about how he believed the Republican Party needed to abandon the word conservative for something else. The word had become synonymous with negative connections. And negative, that's going to be subjective, but once again I'll get into that later. It says, enter Trump. Mr. Trump is not an ideologue. He's obnoxious, yes. I wish he wasn't, but no matter what the left says, President Trump is a big tent constitutionalist, which, yes, absolutely. Trump was a beacon of just, if you love America, you're part of my coalition. He is not a saint, not by any stretch of the imagination. And neither were a lot of the founding fathers. And a lot of the founding fathers weren't even Christians themselves. But I digress. It says, that's why before COVID hit, all the people were doing better at any time in history. And yeah, Trump's economy, like 2019, unemployment rates being the lowest of all time amongst everybody, including blacks and Hispanics in this country. He was doing a great job. You know, say what you want about him and his behavior, but we were in a very, very strong position as a country before COVID and all of the unconstitutional lockdowns. But I digress. Again, it says, to Trump, you weren't black, white, brown, etc. You weren't Ivy League, blue collar, or a stripper. You were either stupid or smart. It's stupid to persecute people who have a different lifestyle than you. It's stupid to throw out the baby with the bathwater, including in constitutionally sound policy. That's my idea about growth and returning joy and unity amongst Americans. In my opinion, if Turning Point USA is the future, then the future is ran by punctual, fanatical, devout Christians who will demand compliance or else. That is a recipe for a shrinking party. So it says in a statement to Newsweek, Turning Point USA explained the ban by stating, the Student Action Summit is a youth conference with 15 and 16-year-olds in the audience. As a matter of policy, Turning Point USA does not allow adult entertainers, influencers, or brands to participate in the events designed for minors. It was not a decision to intend to be unkind to anyone, but in the interest of the student attendees in attendance and to their thousands of parents. And once again, if she wasn't there incognito, she wasn't there just to hang out, it said Brandi Love in big letters right on her badge. So she was promoting her, actress name, her stage name, as you will. I would feel it'd be a lot more genuine if she was there solely to be around conservatives or like-minded pro-American patriots, but you're going there promoting your stage name. So right from the get-go, I'm going to call a little bit of BS. And, for those of you who don't know, she notoriously makes a lot of adult films where she portrays a stepmom having relations. I'm trying to keep it PG friendly for families out there, having relations with her stepchildren. So not exactly the best person to have at a student summit full of children. So I'm going to read on. Down here it says Turning Point USA, which regularly championed itself as the leader against cancel culture since being founded by Charlie Kirk, is no stranger to controversies with models and women during event. In December 2020, Bang Energy Bang Girl shout out cash to the crowd. What? They shout out money? Dude, I gotta go to this next year. And people were not impressed. Oh my God. No, say this is so. They're wearing leggings and crop tops. Oh God. All of our children, they're gonna turn into sluts after seeing these women in crop tops and legging. The conservative movement is dead. Oh my God. Now, guys, I'm totally kidding. I would say that's still not very promiscuous looking at all, but hey, the shooting out money, I have no room for argument there. I want to go there. So I reached out to Turning Point USA to answer on who specifically made the decision to ban Love, but I didn't hear back from the Time Publishing. So guys, where I didn't touch base on yesterday, and I'm going to dive into that right now. Turning Point USA can kick out anybody they want. They did not invite her to be there. She paid her money to get these VIP tickets, and they did refund her. Now, I want to stress, though, she bought these under her real name. So they didn't know that was her. Once she showed up and then had her stage name on the badge, people contacted whoever was, in charge of whatever, and they banned her because she's promoting her stage name to minors. People walk up, introduce themselves. She would say, "I'm Brandi Love." It's not her actual name. So the argument of, well, maybe she was there, because she just really wanted to be a part of, Turning Point USA, and she wanted to enjoy the camaraderie of fellow American patriots. But you did it under your porn name. I have a hard time believing that that's genuine, especially because, I don't know, are you targeting a demographic? It's a good argument to be made, but I'm not going to say she was or wasn't. I am not her, but it does not look good in a perception standpoint. So a lot of conservatives on Twitter came out and they were sitting there going like, "Oh man, she is not a conservative. You cannot be a conservative and be a porn star." And initially, I did not know about this. And I'm like, oh my God, why are we talking about this? We got bigger things to worry about. We got teachers and the largest teachers union in America fighting for critical race theory in our schools. We got congressmen defending the communist regime of Cuba. And, I thought it was a big distraction. But when I dug in deeper and I realized there is a big misunderstanding and misconception about what being a conservative is. And I don't think she labels herself a conservative. I think she's misguided in why she labels herself that. Conservatives by nature, their political ideology, it is based on their Christian moral traditional values. That at the core values of conservatives is through Judeo-Christian values. It precedes their actual political ideology. They base their political beliefs downhill or downstream from their biblical beliefs. Now, do all right-wingers do this? No, they don't. And that's why I'm trying to say she can be a patriot, pro-America, libertarian. She can be right-wing, but that doesn't mean she's a conservative. And that's why, as I said earlier, I think boomers and mainstream media, when they call anybody on the right, "Oh, those conservatives, it's the conservatives, oh, the conservatives," I think that is a false use kind of blanket label term. That's why I've been trying to say more on this channel, patriots or libertarian, or just defining it more like I am a libertarian. So as a libertarian, I put more value into personal and individual autonomy and, literal political liberty. And that's based more off of, my beliefs of individual rights. So, for example, a conservative would say, "I don't believe in gay marriage because of my biblical beliefs." A libertarian as myself would say, "I don't think the government should be in the business of marriage." You know what I mean? So they kind of overlap in a lot of things, especially when it comes to physical kind of policy. But as far as moral values, personally, I am way more of the belief of, if you're not bothering anybody and you're not violating other people's constitutional rights, I have no issues. Live and let live. Now, the conservative stance more is like, allowing certain practices only leads to bad things in the future, and then you can't have a good sovereignty that way, which there are examples of this that I agree with, but then there's certain things I just disagree with. Now, I do find it odd though, and once again, it's not reflecting my beliefs. Turning Point USA, they say it's Christian conservative values. If they are upholding Christian conservative values by kicking out a porn star, why do they have Dave Rubin be a speaker at their event if he's openly gay? Because that goes against a traditional conservative Christian value. Now, it's not saying they hate gay people, but they don't celebrate gay marriage. And if you have Dave there who's actively sinning and living his life, consensually sinning every day, as Brandi Love is, isn't it kind of hypocritical that they allow one, and it's kind of a double standard. And I understand the semantics of it. You know, you can break it down. Dave's not a porn star. Dave isn't advocating, you know, he's not telling children to watch porn, or he doesn't have a porn name on his name tag. And obviously I get that, but I'm just talking from, you know, a foundational standpoint. Where do you draw the line? I can speak for libertarians and I can speak for patriots in the sense of like, I believe in the Constitution and I believe in individual autonomy and liberty of, you know, freedom of liberty. I myself live my lifestyle on conservative morals, and I'm not perfect. I fail every day in some kind of way, but I work hard to be better. But I tend to lean more on individual autonomy and libertarian values. Like I said, I am a conservative morally, but politically totally libertarian. And now, would I consider Brandi Love a conservative? Absolutely not. Is she conserving the Constitution and values of that? Sure, but there's another side to that coin, and that is the traditional values that are set literally in line with Christian conservative values and traditional moral values of Judeo-Christian teachings. So no, I do not believe Brandi Love is a conservative, and I have no issues with conservatives saying you are not part of our movement. Now, what I want to stress to someone like her, just because you're not a conservative doesn't mean you're not part of a pro-American movement as a whole. Maybe that's not your place to be with conservatives. Brandi Love's done nothing to me. If you ever see this video, you didn't do anything to me. You do you. You're not affecting my constitutional rights. That doesn't mean you're a conservative. That's okay, though. You don't have to be a conservative. You can be pro-American. You can be a patriot. You can be right-wing. You don't need to be a conservative. You said Rush Limbaugh kind of made that point, and I would agree with that. That's where I find unity with conservatives and libertarians, or you know, even at this point, my brother, who's basically a libertarian, almost, you know, anarcho-cap at this point. But at the end of the day, our unification, I don't believe, is biblical, because not everybody on the right wing is a Christian or a Jew. Now, that's where I think conservatives, that's where the falling out is. But our unifier is the Constitution. And that is the overlap where libertarians, anarcho-caps, and conservatives, I think that's where we meet. Now, overall, I do not think she should have been there, because she was promoting herself by her stage name, and anybody who saw her there would see the name Brandi Love, and they would put two and two together, or God forbid, look her up on Twitter and see some big, let's leave it at that. Anyways, I want to hear what you guys have to say in the comments below. And I want to emphasize again, you do you, Brandi Love. I'm libertarian. You do your thing. I do my thing. As long as you're not invading my constitutional rights, that's fine. Maybe that's not a conservative take for me, and maybe I'll lose my conservative card, but that's okay. You know what? Like I said, there's just certain things that I agree with a lot of things on conservative values, but there's just some things that I think are better left to individual autonomy. And with that said, I want to hear what you guys have to say in the comments. This was a long one. The next one's going to be shorter. And tomorrow, Mick and I may be doing a collab episode, first episode of Cold War. So tune in for that, guys. I'll be later around 9 o'clock. But with that said, if you haven't already, please like, comment, share, and subscribe to this channel. And thank you so much for listening. You've all been sexy. I'm Payton Johnson. Enjoy the rest of your day. Later.